So guys, today back for another video on the channel. Today we have the Newcastle United versus Crystal Palace player ratings. It's been a long time since I've done the player ratings on the channel, so I thought, you know what, let's do it now and let's speak about and think about how the game went today. I'm recording this after the game still. It's literally still 5:30, so literally it's about half an hour after the game. You will see this on Sunday morning, just because obviously you get to upload out every day for this channel. But obviously we will speak about the game and whatnot and analyse players a lot more from our rant. If you want to go and see the rant, I put at the top, there'll be a link in the description on the end screen. But anyways boys, let's get into it now. We'll start from goalkeeper to attack and let's go through and let's do my player ratings. So starting off in goal we had DARLOW, and you know what lads, I think he had a good performance in the first half. He couldn't do anything with the two goals, well the one that got disallowed and the one that they actually scored. I think he was quite comfortable in net and didn't really put a foot wrong, to be honest. A couple of kicking mistakes there and there, but it's always going to happen. But Martin Dubravka looks to be come back fit. I think Dubravka probably comes in after Chelsea, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But DARLOW for me was half decent. It was alright. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. We went to a wing back formation, which I personally did agree with Graham Jones, but hey ho, it's happened now. Right wing back, MANQUILLO. Didn't really do much, to be honest. Didn't really, when he was getting up the pitch, Mitchell, what a player he's been for Crystal Palace. He had him for toast, you could say. Constantly at him, and he couldn't really get up that line. If we had someone like Jacob Murphy in right wing back, could that work better? Probably, but it's done now. You can't do nothing on it. And I didn't think MANQUILLO had a great game, to be fair. He was struggling with Edward at times and didn't really help Emil Kraft playing at centre back, even though he's a right back. Didn't really work. So MANQUILLO, I think, not the greatest performance. 4 out of 10. We'll go from right to left. So right centre back was Emil Kraft, and you know what, he was just shit, wasn't he? There's a time when he went up the pitch, played at Maxi, and he literally booted it at him. And I remember everyone on the stream was getting off it, but I didn't think he was great. I don't know why he came in. Graham Jones said that both Fraser and Emil Kraft did well in training, and he said that makes his decision over his decision because he's seen them train well. Fair enough, we don't see what happens in training, but I personally don't agree with that. I think Emil Kraft shouldn't be anywhere near Newcastle United, never mind the starting 11, so wasn't great a day by him. He didn't really perform. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10 as well. LASCELLES now, and he was good in the first. He was quite good in the first half, to be fair, right? But in the second half, giving away that silly foul, and it's like, what you doing? Like you've brung down the right mid. And then, I can't remember his name, and then you brung down Benteke. Like, what are you doing? You've been given a yellow card for stupid little fouls, like dragging it. It's like, what's the point? Just stay composed. Maybe say slide or whatever, or do whatever, or just get back in position. In the first half he was average, to be fair. He was getting balls away and diving whenever he needed to do, like literally diving headouts to get the ball out and stuff, so it's always good to see. But there's no leadership there in my opinion, and yet again it showed today there was no leadership again. LASCELLES, 5 out of 10. Kevin Clark was next to LASCELLES in the centre back role. I think he was the one that got fouled for the goal that got disallowed. He went down with a head injury as well, but for the goal, I think he should be doing much better there. Much better. You can't let Christian Benteke, out of all people, have that much space, time, everything, right? You can't just let him be there. He's a presence, right? He's a presence there in the box, right? You've got to do everything in your world to stop him scoring that goal. If it's heading the ball away, putting him off, and not giving away a pen, it's what you've got to do, and he didn't do that. And obviously, he put Palace 1-0 up, and it was a disappointing goal to concede. And I think Kevin Clark will be disappointed for that. And I think it is finally fucking time to see Fabi Shaw, Federico Fernandez back into the team. Kevin Clark, 4 out of 10. Left wing back now, and it was Matt Ritchie, and you know what, I'm done with it now. I really am. I'm done with the Matt Ritchie trend. I'm done with him playing. I'm done with him as a player. This season he has been horrendous. Most of the goals have been his fault. When I think of goals, West Ham's goal to make a 2-2, Ritchie's fault. Southampton's goal to make a 1-1, his fault. Most of the Man United goals against was when we got before 4-1, his fault. I think the goal today we could have done a bit better. Even though it was Clark's man, right? still go for the ball, still try and win it, still try and get the fucking ball out. Didn't see any of that today by Matt Ritchie, and I haven't seen it this season. He's not a wing back. He's just not a star, and I hope Jamal Lewis can get a start in, because he deserves it now. It's getting to the point where it's getting fucking stupid. It really is. Matt Ritchie, 4 out of 10. Midfield now, Isaac Hayden in the midfield. He got fouled on in the first 5 minutes, but you can take that into consideration a little bit. Like, he might not be in the 100% after being getting fouled, but he wasn't great today, Hayden. He really wasn't, and I don't think that I want the old Isaac Hayden back. But remember the 18-19 season Hayden, and then the 19-20 season Hayden. We're needing that again. We're needing that just clean, silky midfielder that just sweeps it all up and makes it look tidy. And recently it's more just hoof ball, quick passing, and just get the ball out of his feet. Back in the day, I can't speak, man. He used to look confident with the ball at his feet. Now, I don't really say that, but yeah, again, he's a player that should stay at this club, and he's got great potential, and it's just one of them games for Isaac Hayden, because he's performed well this season in games, but it's just one of them games for him. Isaac Hayden, I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Sean Longstaff was in midfield, a bit of a surprising one, considering Graham Jones is like an attacking-sided tactics man, you could say, and I thought you would have played Willock there. Willock a bit more tap-minded, try to get up the field a little bit more, but Sean Longstaff played, and he wasn't terrible, don't get us wrong, he wasn't terrible, he didn't stand out, no player really stood out, you could say, but we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more silkiness and a little bit more like cleanness, you could say. There was times in the midfield where like he stuttered and didn't know what to do with the ball, but there was times where he made some good quick passing and whatnot. So I didn't think it was his worst performance of the day. I don't think he's one of the players who can stand out. Guy, he was fucking shit. He's one of them players who can stand out. Guy, he's fucking class. Straight down the middle for me, 5 out of 10. In the attack now, it was great to see Ryan Fraser at the start 11. It's been a long time coming, and he's a player that had great potential as a player at Bournemouth, getting linked moves at Arsenal for 50 million and whatnot. Now he's at Newcastle sitting on the bench. He needs to be getting game times, and we'll see that even though we went through that like bad run last season where we won 2 games in 20 when Maxi was injured, Wilson was injured, he was our only hope, and he's the only player that really, you could say, that stood out. And for me, he didn't do much today, but the quality is there. You can see it when he gets that ball into his feet. You know what he's going to do with it, but he can still get past the defender. He's good at stuff like that, where like it's his quality that comes out, and that's what he can bring to the team, and hopefully he can do it more when he gets hopefully some more game time and whatnot. So I think Ryan Fraser deserves more game time, and with the Christmas period coming up, we're needing it. So I think solid performance, not the best, not the worst. Yet again, straight down the middle, 5 out of 10. Now on to the attack. Now starting off with we'll do Maxi. I think that was probably Maxi's one of his worst games at the club. Like, he didn't really do much, and there was times where he was brilliant. We all know that, but times where like he's losing the ball and like just getting a fuck's sake and not trying to win it back, and that's his sort of like his personality. It's like that's who he is as a player. So I didn't think it's not like he had a bad game. It was because of the standard Saint-MAXIMIN is at, right? When he has a game like that, it's like, oh, what's happened to you, mate? But I think it's one of them games for Maxi, to be fair. Push on, move on, and see what happens next week. Maxi, yeah, again, I'm going to go straight down the middle, 5 out of 10. And finally, Callum Wilson, and all I've got to say is what a goal that was. What an overhead kick, and look how important he is to our team. 4 goals already this season, and it's phenomenal. Like, I think he's only started 5 games, and he's got 4 goals. It's class. It is class. And we need to see more of it. He scored every game this season he started, apart from Aston Villa away, where he should have scored because he had a 1-on-1 chance. He could have scored in every single game that he started in, and that's what we need as a striker. I think he's a player that just needs to stay fit, and we can see when he stays fit. A bit more support would help. Don't get us wrong. He still needs support going up that field. He still needs support, even as a good player. Doesn't mean he doesn't need support when holding the ball up or running with the ball. He still needs players around him, and times a day we've struggled with that, so that's one thing we need to look at. But overall, good. I think it was our man of the match. The goals tops it off. Good performance for Callum Wilson, 7 out of 10. Obviously we had the subs come on. Joelinton came over Max at the end, and then we brought on Almon and Willock, who didn't really do much. I think if I quickly check, they came on just after we scored, so didn't really like impact onto the game through the scoreline. But it'll be good to see Mickey back. Obviously, hopefully Willock can get some more game time by starting. We'll have to wait and see what happens, boys. But that is my player ratings. Make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It would mean a lot if you could do so. Thanks for everyone who joined the stream, it does mean a lot. Anyways, boys, I'll see you all for our next game against Chelsea. Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle United 1, and that is the end of match week 8 or 9 or whatever it is. I don't really care, because we've got a big game coming up and we need to focus on it. Anyways, boys, see you in the next one.